Hello, so this video is for more advanced users. If you're really comfortable in digital environments, this is your video. So I'm going to go over some ways that you can focus on mainly asynchronous or synchronous communication with your students if you are teaching online. I'm going to go over some ways that students may prefer to do this, and if you're really comfortable, you can look into these further. Most of these will have apps associated with them on the phone, like Discord, Slack, all GroupMe, all have apps that you can use. So I have Slack open right now. As you can see, I started this for my one of my English 301 courses. We actually never ended up using them because I couldn't find a way to integrate it into the Canvas, and so I chose not to use it. But I'm going to talk about this along with Discord because you're going to notice Discord and Slack have some similarities. Slack is mainly for group project management. Companies use it quite a bit because you can add channels. So you see channels here, you'll always get a general channel once you have Slack. By the way, I'm not going to show you how to set up these accounts because again, this is for advanced users. So I'm thinking of people who, are really comfortable, logging in and creating accounts and stuff like that. So I'm going to skip that part. But if you wanted to, you could create a channel, like COVID-19, something like that. If you have a certain project that you want students to work on, or if you are having students work in groups, you can create a separate channel for them. And all you would do, and I love the internet because again, you hover over something and usually it tells you what it is. So you can create a channel by hitting that. You'll see something like this. So let's say, so for an example, I have students doing kind of a design project. Awkwardly enough, like we had this all happen in the middle of a heavy design project. So maybe I want design tips here. That's what I'm going to call it. Some of my students are very good with design because they're in graphics and imaging technology, in other things that are very similar to that. And some students are like more automotive and they're like, don't do a lot of document design. They don't want to know. You can create a description here if you want. I try to make the channels fairly self-descriptive for whatever I'm doing them for. Also here you can make things private or not. I don't usually do that. I usually consider everybody can participate in whatever channel I create. But you just create channel and there you have design tips. You can add people if you want. So like if this was a group project or something like that, you could do that. If you wanted to create like an office hour kind of chat, you could even do that here. And invite people, especially if you had to talk about things that were a little bit more private. You could set up something like this, like grade chat or something like that. We're just going to skip that for now. But here you can see now you have the design tips channel and people can participate in it. There's other things that you can do here as well, but I thought in terms of communication, Slack is really good. It's slack.com. Another one, and this is really well known to the gaming community, is Discord. I love Discord as an app. I don't really use Discord as on my browser, really. Actually, I have claimed it. I need to claim it. Okay, so I use Discord for communicating with games. So you can see here's a Discord. I actually asked a question today in academic stuff. But you, again, just like Slack, you can create channels here in Discord. Like I said, it's for gaming. So students may be really comfortable with it. It also looks a little like Slack if you wanted to, but it would be a way to chat with students. There's another thing called GroupMe. GroupMe is basically text-based. It's mainly used on the phone. So if you create a GroupMe like on a web browser, you're going to get phone notification stuff. It'll send you a text message like this is your GroupMe chat for whatever you created at the time. I like GroupMe because it's pretty simple. It's not too complicated and things go directly to your phone. So if you wanted to encourage students to use GroupMe. I would suggest it mainly possibly for your whole class if you wanted to use it as a kind of way to discuss assignments and stuff like that. That's pretty easy to access. They don't have to really find a new thing. They just have to have the GroupMe app, and there's text messages there. But how you would see, I created a test, just a test to see what it would be like. You can add new members, but if you're here, like when you create this, you have your contacts, you have trash. Let's go back here. So for this, you can start a new chat, and this just is way you can make multiple chats too. So if you did want to have like an office hours kind of GroupMe chat, you could totally do that. But and by the way, you can also do direct message. So if you are concerned about things coming up during an office hours chat, you could always send a direct message to students. To start a group chat, you just do this. You put a new group name. You can also do some advanced settings here if you wanted to. So you could share a group topic, and you could create a closed group. And again, these are tools that I think are really good just for like general communication in your class, or if you're working in group projects. So, and you can share these tools all with your students too and have them decide what they think might be the best opportunity for them. So some of you may have access to something called Microsoft Teams. I kind of am starting to love Microsoft Teams because I hate talking on a phone. I don't want people to call me in my office. And Microsoft Teams allows internal calling. So, for example, here, if I go to calls, you can see all the people that I work with every day are here, including our graduate assistants. So I can call them and we can have a chat. You don't have to show video if you don't want to. Obviously, there's audio involved, but you could just basically call them. There's one option that I love in Microsoft Teams is that you can have, it's almost like a Zoom kind of situation. If you have a team set up, you can do a new meeting. Or you don't even really have to have a team set up. You can just choose to meet people in a conference call. So you can see I have not had the heart to take anything off my calendar. I just can't get myself there yet. But eventually I'm going to have to change this calendar. And it's going to kind of break my heart a little bit. But what you can do is you can click on a date in your calendar to create a new meeting, or you can select this. There's also that meet now option. In this chaotic time, I'm not going to do that. So new meeting is something that you would set up. If you've done anything like Zoom or anything like that, this is going to be like pretty simple. But you can add a title, you can add required attendees, and if you just start typing, you're going to see people show up. Just like that. You can set it for a certain date, whenever you want to do that time. And one thing that we're going to have to remember in this environment is like, not all our students may be in whatever time zone we're used to them being in. So that adds a little caveat, I guess, to this time discussion. And then you can make it repeat. So if you do want students to meet like on a weekly basis on the day you set it up for, you can do that. I did that for my Zoom. We may or may not use that depending upon how things go when I meet them for the first time. And then you can write details for the meeting. And once you have that set up for a future time, you can hit save. The scheduling assistant up there, maybe you noticed this when I was speaking. This allows you to see anybody you're asking also to attend, to see their calendar if they have a calendar that's available in Outlook. Everybody I work with who's an instructor uses Outlook, but not everybody uses their calendar, so always be aware of that. Some final things I want to show you. You can see I've set this up for one of my sections right now. I set it up for their group project. I've already made a video kind of sharing the kinds of levels of access they have. I've also had students talk about they're probably going to use maybe Discord for communication. I'm also going to talk to them about Slack, but I set this up for them just in case it was easy. And you can see here I made things private to the specific groups. The nice thing about this is that it does allow things like assignments, gradebook. It's almost like Google Classroom a little bit. You get all those things to play with. There's a wiki here, so if they wanted to like brainstorm or something, they could. Oh, and there's also a chat function, so you can have just chat if you didn't want to do any calling. So those are some tools that you can use in your class or introduce to your students. But if you are a little bit more advanced in all the tech that we have available to us at this time, but please don't try to do too much and learn anything new. You don't want to confuse students. I'm making these videos and doing some complex things here just to help streamline communication a little bit, not necessarily try to throw you into the wolves. So hopefully some of that is helpful. As for like popularity, I've heard most about, well, Slack is pretty common in companies, but GroupMe, most students know about GroupMe. And Discord if they're into gaming platforms. Microsoft Teams, if you have access to it, can be also a great tool. So thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day.